Okay, what if I told you that some people literally felt pain from hearing certain sounds? Well, that is a real condition, and it is called misophonia, and it does exactly that. I'm actually not too sure if it's actually pronounced misophonia, because I've never heard it. I just heard about it online. So, but I'll tell you what it is, what it's like to have it, and my experience with it. And I will start by telling you what it is. Misophonia is when certain sounds cause extreme anxiety and discomfort in an individual. Like when they hear that sound, they just can't stand it, literally can't stand it. And literally, misophonia translates to hatred of sound. Scientists don't know much about it because it's a relatively new concept, but they do know that they think it's a result from normally strong connections between the autonomic and limbic systems in the brain, and it is not a result of strong hearing, and it is like a reflex. You react automatically. And since I've told you what it is, I'll tell you what it's like living with it. People with misophonia, they usually have one or two trigger sounds, or certain sounds that make them tick, and make them angry. And it's usually stuff like people chewing, or sniffing, or coughing. And hearing these sounds causes extreme anxiety and a fight or flight response. And can you put the first picture up on scale? Okay, and there are different levels of it.
Won't we put the lights, please? Dang.
So it can range from you just get a little bit annoyed to you're pretty much insane and you could be in a mental hospital. And it usually develops, from what they've noticed, it usually develops people around the start of puberty, from when they're in late elementary school to early middle school, and it never goes away, and you don't grow out of it. There is no cure or way to get rid of it right now, so people have to find ways to cope with it. Many people say they feel better whenever they hear the sound, whenever they imitate that sound. Like they hear someone cough and they don't like it, they have to cough too. And a lot of people wear earplugs or listen to music through headphones. A lot of people go to therapy to try to desensitize themselves to it, where they'll play a recorded sound of their trigger sound, and then they'll play a pleasant sound with it to try to associate the trigger sound with the pleasant sound. But it's only worked for a few people, and like I said, it never truly goes away. Many people with this disorder don't want to tell people that they have it because it's really, really rare. Like scientists have barely ever haven't known about it for very long at all. It's a new concept, and they feel like people won't believe them, or they'll think they're just being weird or picky, and so they feel guilty about asking people not to make those sounds. They feel like they're just being rude. And a lot of people will avoid social situations and don't like to go out with their friends very much because of this. They don't like going to public places, and they choose to work from home instead of in an office. And it also has a big effect on their relationships with others, because people with misophonia, people living with people with misophonia get tired and frustrated of accommodating their friends and family because they don't get it, they don't understand, and they get tired of making allowances for something they can't understand. And it has been known to ruin lots of relationships and has even caused many divorces. And there's one woman who she couldn't even eat in the same room as her husband because she couldn't stand the sound of him eating. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because I have misophonia myself. When I was...
What kind of sounds?
Don't tell them.
Yes, tell them.
Okay, so my experience with it was, for me, the trigger sound... Sorry. my trigger sounds are the sounds of people sniffling, like when they have allergies, and when people are smacking their food or chewing their gum really loudly. Can't stand that. And I developed it when I was in 5th grade. I can actually remember when I developed it. I was in class and I was just working, and then suddenly it was like a switch went on, and then all these sounds just annoyed me. And it wasn't so bad at first. Like it was like I could deal with it, and it was kind of annoying. But whenever I started 6th grade in middle school, it became annoying to just causing all these things. And I had to plug my ears in school in class during lunch, and I told my family about it, but they thought I was just being picky because I was always a really sensitive child to sounds and stuff. But
Jordan, stop talking.
it was in this class almost starting high school that they learned what misophonia was, because we finally Googled it, and we went to counseling, and she told my parents, yeah, this is a real thing. It sounds weird to you, but to her it's very real, and that they should be considerate of it. And can you go to the next picture? Okay, so I'm level 6 on the misophonia scale, so I'm like borderline insanity. And it's made school difficult for me because there's people everywhere, and I can't expect everyone to be completely quiet all the time. And I have to sit funny, like I have to sit and like close my ears when I work because I can't stand hearing everything. And it's made group projects difficult, and it's kind of kept me from developing more of my social skills, and which is why I'm kind of awkward. And I don't like it. It's frustrating, and I literally almost started crying sometimes because of the sound. Okay.
Come on, Miss Bianca.
Okay. So to cope, I like I said, I plug my ears or I listen to music a lot, and sometimes I take tests in other rooms so I can focus better. It has affected how I work, and also when I plug my ears, I can't hear the teacher very well, which is pretty frustrating. And I usually don't like to tell people about it, because usually when they do, they laugh because they think I'm just joking, or they'll make the noises to see if I respond because they don't realize that they're actually hurting me. And my family's pretty supportive now that they understand what it is, and they try hard to accommodate me, and I'm really glad about that. And since I've told you about that, I hope that y'all can be more aware of others around you and understand that maybe they're going through something you just can't understand. And now I've told you what misophonia is, and I've told you what it is, what it's like, and how my life was with it. And just remember that, as strange as it sounds, this is a real thing.